Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Kodeations. In today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys 3 arena teams that you can use right now to grind out the rest of the arena season. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Diving right in, ladies and gentlemen, for the very first team composition we've got for you guys, that's going to be the Financier Vampire Espresso comp that is riddled right now through the overall top 100 for the pure vanilla server. The very first 2 cookies we've got, that's going to be Financier and Wild Berry Cookie here in the front. In the middle, that's going to house Espresso and Pomegranate. And in the back here, we've got, that's going to be Vampire. As far as our 3 individual treasures go, that's going to be the Old Pilgrim Scroll, the Monocle, and then also the Jelly Watch. Alrighty, so then diving into some overall toppings here. Starting it off, we've got Wild Berry Cookie coming in with a full solid almond set. Ideally, here you want to focus on stacking as much damage resistance as you possibly can, because again, he's going to be a frontline defense unit, and he's going to have a lot of incoming damage. The second cookie and brand new one here for Financier, that's going to be running another full solid almond set. Again, you're just trying to focus on as much damage resistance as you possibly can. A little bit of cooldown would not help to allow her to utilize her skill more often. And then obviously crit resist here is going to also benefit her, along with debuff resistance for the overall arena. The third cookie we've got, that's going to be Pomegranate coming in on a full Swift Chocolate set here. Again, when you're running a full Swift Chocolate set, you need to focus on as much damage resistance as you possibly can, because you're already going to get a massive amount of cooldown just from the overall set bonus. Now, it's going to be important to note here that for Pomegranate Cookie, especially at the top tier arena, meaning like Masters 2 all the way through Grandmasters, you honestly probably want to be running a full solid almond set, or at least most top tier players in the arena are going to be running a full solid almond set with an emphasis on cooldown for the substats. And again, that's just going to aid in her overall survivability, especially going up against other team compositions that do a lot of burst damage, or not only that, they have a Vampire, which is going to be pretty much trying to snipe out your overall Pomegranate. The next cookie we've got, that's going to bring us to Espresso. Espresso is going to be running a full Searing Raspberry set. Again, for overall substats, we're trying to focus on as much damage resistance as we possibly can, alongside the crit resistance. And then the last cookie we've got here, and that's going to bring us to Vampire Cookie. I'm going to be running a full Searing Raspberry set on Vampire. We did sacrifice a little bit of attack here for some damage resistance. We got him up to 12.1%. Nothing too crazy, but again, we just want to make sure that he is staying alive, and taking some hits, because we definitely need him to be able to snipe the back line. So again, focusing on additional attack, damage resistance, and not only that, a little bit of cooldown also will aid in him utilizing his skill more often and potentially being able to snipe that back row. Now, diving into the second team comp we've got for you guys today, and that's going to bring us to the hard counter to the Financier and Vampire comp, because you're going to see the Vampire comp everywhere through the overall arena. You're going to need something in order to deal with it. Before we dive into the overall composition, just a quick shout out to the person who actually shared this composition with me in the overall Discord, and that's going to be Zenus Purity. Thank you very much. Taking a look at the overall composition here, this one's going to be leading with Caramel Arrow in the front. In the middle, we've got Sorbet and Pumpkin Pie, and then in the rear, we've got Parfait and also Pure Vanilla Cookie. For the 3 individual treasures, we're going to be running the Feather, the Scroll, and then also the Jelly Watch. Diving into the overall toppings for each individual cookie, starting us off with Caramel Arrow. She's going to be running a full solid almond set. Again, ideally, you just want to focus on as much damage resistance as you possibly can stack up. And the reason being is because the whole idea behind this team build is so that, Caramel Arrow is tanking the hits from Vampire. When Caramel Arrow drops to the back, we're hoping that Vampire will target her, and then that she can obviously soak up the incoming damage. The second cookie we've got here, and that's going to be Sorbet Shark. When it comes to Sorbet Shark here, we're running a mixed set. 3 solid almonds and 2 Swift chocolates. The big focus here is you at least need to achieve 12 to 15% on the cooldown, so you can basically utilize his skill as often as possible. However, though, stacking some damage resistance, you can see we were able to achieve 24.7%. Not the best, but nevertheless should allow him to take a couple of hits, hopefully stay alive, because again, him and also Pumpkin Pie's job in this team is to pretty much just obliterate the front line on the enemy's team. The third cookie we've got here, and that's going to be Pumpkin Pie. Pumpkin Pie is going to be running a full solid almond set, once again trying to stack up the overall survivability via damage resistance. Not only that, when it comes to Pumpkin Pie, you don't really need any substats in cooldown. Ideally, you want to see that cooldown pumped into either, additional damage resistance, crit resistance, and or, attack and HP, just to aid in her overall survivability. The fourth cookie we've got for you guys, and that's going to be Pure Vanilla Cookie. Pure Vanilla Cookie is going to be running 4 Swift Chocolates and 1 solid almond. The idea here is to stack as much damage resistance as you can via the substats after after you have achieved 20% of the overall cooldown. And you want to make sure you achieve that 20% on that cooldown for Pure Vanilla Cookie, because you want to make sure he's keeping his heals coming and also those HP shields, because like I mentioned, this is a direct counter team to the Vampire and Espresso teams, where they're going to have a lot of incoming damage. That HP shield is going to help out a ton. And then you can also run a full Swift Chocolate set here on Pure Vanilla Cookie, but that is going to take some serious damage resistant substats on the overall set. The last cookie we've got, and that's going to be Parfait here, coming in with a full Swift Chocolate set. Again, guys, you need to be focusing in on as much damage resistance as you possibly can. And that's going to be wrapping up the second team composition. Keep in mind that this is going to be a hard counter to any Vampire, Financier Cookie teams that you come up against. The third team we've got for you guys today, and that's going to be the tried and true Summoners comp. Diving into the Summoners comp, as you guys can see here, we've got Crunchy Chip in the front line, we've got Sorbet and Pumpkin Pie in the center, and then we're going to be housing Cotton and then also Oyster in the back line. As far as the three individual treasures go, we've got the Old Pilgrim Scroll, the Pin Cushion, and then also the Jelly Wad. Diving into the overall toppings here, starting off with the very first cookie, that's going to be Crunchy Chip. Crunchy Chip is going to be running a full solid almond set. Again, we're just trying to focus on as much damage resistance as we possibly can, because we want to make sure that his wolf is super tanky for when Crunchy does die and the wolf is left alive. The second cookie we've got, and that's going to be Sorbet Shark. Sorbet Shark, once again, is going to be running a 3 solid almond with a 2 Swift Chocolate set. Ideally here, we're trying to focus on as much damage resistance as we can, alongside still having a good amount of cooldown, so you can utilize his skill as often as possible and hopefully take out those frontline tanks. The third cookie we've got here, and that's going to be Pumpkin Pie. Pumpkin Pie is going to be running another full solid almond set. We're just trying to maximize the overall damage resistance, because again, we want to make sure that Pom-Pom is super tanky and can take a lot of damage. The fourth cookie we've got here, and that's going to be, the brand new Oyster Cookie as a super epic. She's going to be running 2 solid almonds and 3 Swift Chocolates. The idea here is to at least achieve the 11.2% that we need for cooldown, so we can maintain all 3 of those individual soldiers, but nevertheless, we still need a bunch of damage resistance as much as you possibly can after achieving the 11.2%, because again, we do need to make sure that she does stay alive. And then the last but not least cookie we've got here, and that's going to be the one and only Cotton. Now, for this one here, guys, I actually swapped my topping set. And I know that's absolutely crazy coming from me, because every single time I go to mess around with Cotton, I never want to adjust her overall set. However, we definitely need to for this build in the overall arena. For Cotton here, you're really trying to balance the two between damage resistance and not only that, having a good amount of cooldown. We want to make sure that she can utilize her skill as often as possible, but at the same time, we also need to make sure that she is staying alive so she can continue to provide the overall utility. We've achieved that by getting 23.8% damage resistance alongside the 16.3% cooldown. Not only that, the additional crit resistance here of 7.4% is going to help us out. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up our video for today on 3 arena teams that hopefully will help you guys achieve a higher tier before it officially resets to get some additional resources. You guys let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. If you have any additional questions, I invite you guys to join the Discord. You can find that link provided down below. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here on the channel for everything Cookie Run Kingdom related as I cover it all. And with that being said, I will see you guys on the next one.